We have hit
Had a little shuffle around on Discord earlier today to stop people ending up in stream chat by default.
Okay.
Moved it down a bit. So the default first accessible channel is now the README channel, which makes a lot more sense. So when a ticket gets closed, people get dropped in README.
Oh, okay.
And somebody joins, the first channel they get dropped in is README.
I think tomorrow, honestly, it's one of the first channels actually in Discord they see that's public, so they just join it and start typing.
Yep.
What can we say? So, okay, we've got stuff to do, so let's crack on.
Clack on.
Yeah, it's been one of those days, and it's going to be one of those days tomorrow as well. So, welcome to Roundtable 111. We have all the ones this week. Please, if you could give us a moment of your time to give us some love and follows on our socials, it helps immensely, and it helps to grow the community. So, let's now catch up with what we've got going on. You can ask questions through. We do this every Tuesday afternoon. And as usual, thank you for all for spending a little bit of your Tuesday afternoon with us. Let's get on with some news. We've got weekly maintenance tomorrow. Yes?
Yes, we do.
Have you got something to...
No, just news.
No, you're just okay. Weekly
Just
maintenance.
happy.
You go. All yours.
Oh, sorry. It's kind of difficult and you can't see the other person to read the visual cues.
But you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, just checking. Weekly maintenance is 9 a.m. tomorrow as usual. We've got some updates to do, and of course, usual Windows updates, that kind of thing. It's a pain in the ass, but it's our one chance a week to get our hands on the servers and make any changes and adjustments we need to make. Right, so under community news this week, I'm going to label this one as Art Community because it's important. As of Wednesday this week, this will be tomorrow, any tribe vaults that have not been accessed for a calendar month, which means the 6th of June, if you haven't touched your tribe vault on a map since the 6th of June, it's going to be emptied and reset. Tribe vaults are getting very, very popular, and we're encouraging active players to take one as well, but they can't last forever. There are hundreds of players, and we need some sort of cleanup. So if you've not touched your tribe vault in a month, and you've got stuff in it that you want, go over to each of the maps. This is not any tribe vault. This is specific to every map, and just access them, open them, close them if you're still concerned about them, and the date on them, you'll notice at the bottom, will change. So don't fall foul to the cleanup that's going to happen for the tribe vaults. If you haven't accessed them within a calendar month, as of tomorrow, they are going to go pop. I think that's pretty fair, isn't it? If you're not touched them for a month, you're probably not going to.
Yeah, that was our original intention. We just haven't had to need to do it until they started all filling up. So
yeah,
that's why the date's on them.
Exactly. We need to reclaim this. In the future, we'll try and get this automated. So it's just a case of if you don't touch them for a month, they go pop. But for now, there's a manual cleanup going to happen, and that's going to start basically tomorrow. So be warned. Then we'll do the art news. But why not? So for the main cluster, this is what I have anyway. Start with the shiny dino update from last week. Obviously, TARDIS dinos were renamed to Fathomless. It was the most pointless, absolutely stupid change to do at primetime Saturday night I've ever seen in my life. And the mod author for shiny should be ashamed of himself. We've disabled the Fathomless and the TARDIS in the config. They're completely OP, shouldn't be out in the wild. If you do come across them, please don't tame them, let us know, but they should all be cool. There were other various color name changes he made as well. So what used to be like a rainbow shiny might now be a Starbright shiny. You'll probably see a few new named shinies running around the map. So if collecting them all is your thing, then go you. Obviously, we removed all S Plus and vanilla incubators as well from the cluster last week, as we said was going to happen. This included Gaia. And obviously, when they get patched in and the changes get fixed, these will be brought back and people can play with them again. And then finally, just for the main cluster, Arc, if you've been hiding under a rock, is on super sale right now on the summer sale and is about £3 for the main game. The Genesis Pass is at £12 at the moment, which means you can have the absolute lot for 15 quid if it is so appealing to you and you haven't done so far. So super, super cheap, thousands of hours for most people here on their Arc, or hundreds of hours at least. Most people, some people are in the thousands now. So yeah, £15 I think is a bargain, or if you just want the base game, £3. All good. You got anything else for the main cluster that we need to know or missed or?
No, nothing to do with shinies anyway, or Arc being on sale.
No, okay. Anything else for main cluster that isn't Gaia?
Other than we can talk in a bit more detail about about other stuff that might be happening. As of tomorrow, we will be deploying a new version of our transfer system, which is currently switched off.
Yeah.
That'll be coming back on. So /download will start working again, and your transfer protections will be in place and stuff like that. But I will caveat that with it's another version. This is supposed to fix the crashing issues that we were having with that. It may or may not fix it. Who knows? If we start seeing servers exploding fairly rapidly after deploying it, then it'll be off again. We'll send the crash logs over and it's another version.
Cool. So that's going to go in with changes tomorrow then. And hopefully by tomorrow we will have our upload transfer system back on and gear recoveries. Hopefully, fingers crossed, will be all working, right?
Yep.
Sure.
The plan.
Yeah, it's always the plan. It never happens that way.
Right.
Okay, Gaia 2 then. We'll move on to some of the big stuff that's been reported. Firstly, as we discussed this morning, I wanted to say that Gaia 2 as a server was always meant to be a stopgap of sorts. While we awaited ASA. Obviously, things have changed there a little bit. We've had a lot of cool feedback, and we hear you loud and clear. It's enjoyable, but it's got some issues at the moment. People voted for Gaia 2 as a fun overhaul to tide us over, and there are a few issues that are currently bumming people right out. We do run several other what we call pop-up servers for the community, like 7 Days to Die, Conan. We've had stints for Minecraft as well, and Project Zomboid, all sorts of stuff. We maintain them, but they don't get the full treatment like the main cluster does and Rust. Obviously, all that takes up a hell of a lot of time. However, as ASA seems to be pushed back until October, I believe now, as long as nothing else gets altered, we did have a chat this morning and want to help because there are some glaring issues. So just running down the glaring issues we've got so far then, we are aware that bionic dinosaurs are currently not craftable. Some of the components are making the wrong things, meaning there's no current bionics in the game for players. Yeah, I'm coming to the boss bug. So we had a talk. We've got two very workable ways we could do this, but I think we fixated on one at the moment, aren't we? Which we think is going to be cool. So
Indeed.
We're talking about the introduction of an extra mod, right?
Yes.
Tell us a bit more about new mods and how we can fit.
So one of the features of the auction house mod, which is not a mod we're planning on rolling out, is converter, or the currency converter. And what that lets us do is it allows us to configure items that you can trade in other items to get. So essentially customizable recipes. So what we're going to do is add all the non-functioning or broken recipes in the Gaia 2 mod to the converter, configure the requirements so that you can then pop your resources in the converter, click convert, and then out pops the item that you want that you were trying to craft on the Bionic crafting table or any other thing that happens to be there. So that should solve our problem. Only the converter will be enabled. The rest of the auction house functionality will be disabled, but it will let you craft the things you want. There is a limitation to this. We can only have up to 5 crafting components per item, I think. So we may have to tweak the recipes a little bit. So you'll see some random shit drop off the recipes and maybe up the quantities on some other things, but it'll be work in progress, and yeah, it should fix the problems we're having. So bionics can then be crafted. Whoop.
Yes. So
I mean,
Cool has already
the
started
other
work
option,
on this, by the way. So list of things being built, as you've probably already seen, is being compiled, and then we'll get the config out for that as fast as we can.
the other option was a bit more involved. It meant I just built the recipes into our own mod, and people could craft them as engrams from their list. But yeah, that's significantly more work and not as flexible. So if we needed to make quick tweaks to the recipes, we wouldn't be able to do it.
Have you actually tried any of the bionic shapes, Smiley? As they currently can't be crafted. Or have you got them from rabbits or something, or how do we know that?
Bionic Dodo's OP.
How do we know how weak they are? Or have you indeed found a way around getting bionics? And while we wait for that as well, we're also aware of the issue with the trank arrows. So the current new way may be able to do something about that too.
Can't promise that though, because it may be to do with the way crafting works. If an item is a child of another item, they're considered the same item. And so, like, what is it? Wood and fungal wood, for example, being the same thing but not.
Yeah. I mean, they spawn at random level and they get wrecked pretty easy. Well, they will do if they're like just random level spawns on the map. It's what you do with them afterwards, I'm guessing. Like your best Rexes are pretty pathetic to fight out in the wild. They're not saddled up or anything like that either, so be hard to tell, I guess. And yes, we are aware of the bosses being very, very hard, lots of health, and the rewards on them are, shall we say, a little underwhelming. At least, is it something like 15 Gaia leaves and a bit of element or something?
Yeah, and let's be clear: there are bionics and there are mechs.
Yeah.
The mech is the next tier up from bionic.
Cool. Yes, I'm sure you would have done, Tula. That's in the big list, is it? Okay, cool. So we can go across that tomorrow and we can decide what we're doing, and we can get going on that. So there is hope. Things are coming. Give us some time to sort that out. It shouldn't take that long, and we'll hopefully get things all patched up. Do we got anything else for Ark while we're here?
Bunnies.
Bunnies, yes. No, bunnies shouldn't be breedable right now. But it turns out a few people are actually managing to breed them. So bunnies need to be shut off from breeding. And then my next question would be, what are we going to do with people who've already got bred bunnies?
I don't know yet, but
what are people's thoughts on that?
I would suggest the breeding the bunnies is also a way of working around the fact that you can't actually craft one of the highest tier dinos in the game yet as well. So maybe we coincide the changes to the bunnies with the release of the crafting of the mechs.
Bionics, you mean? Crafting of bionics, yeah?
Yes.
Not
Sorry.
mech.
Mech. Yeah, no, I did get it right. Mechs. Mechs are the highest tier ones. Bionics are the next one down.
So let's get the fixes in. We'll get the bunnies what's it, and then we'll wonder and decide what we're doing with bunnies that people already got. Because yes, it was quite obvious that bunnies should not have been.
Huh.
So those breeding them knew they were doing something they shouldn't be doing and did it anyway. And we'll deal with that. Cool. Anything else before I move on?
I don't think so.
Awesome. So we'll move on to a little bit of Rust then. So Rust Wipe is going to be on the 6th of July. We seem to have a trend going with the 6th of July and wiping at the moment. We have a new map called Chernobyl, as I mentioned last week. Video trailer for the map, who those have been asking and want it, is on YouTube and is in the news section of Discord. Always like to do a little bit of a video teaser for new content where we can. So if you're interested in the new map, I know a few people have been asking, check it out there. You get a teaser and a peek of what's coming. This is going to be replacing Last Oasis in the map cycle and leaving the cycle now looking very, very stacked indeed. We've got 3 really cool maps, and that's what we're going to be going forward with. It'll be Cataclysm, Kong, and Chernobyl. So for those interested in Rust, we will see you on Thursday. And for those who have been interested and have been put off, again, Rust is in the summer sale right now for $23.44. That's in pounds. It doesn't actually go on sale that often. So if you have been waiting and you've been waiting for the right time, the time is now. It's not going to be the toxic PvP shitfest that people are used to. The server is indeed very, very chill and has very, very limited raiding on. So although you can be killed, you won't lose all of your stuff. But again, if that's your thing, it's on the summer sale, as most of our games are right now. So looking forward to Thursday for a Rust wipe. Onto some Conan. It is now officially up and running. Conan server is working now. The new expansion,
Indeed.
Age of War, is active. The mod list has been tweaked ever so slightly. It's mainly to do with cosmetics. And if you want to see what's changed or you want to subscribe to that, it can be found in the other section under other games. If you haven't checked out Conan, now is a good time. It's all new, all singing, all dancing. And again, Conan is available in the summer sale at £13.59. And for that sort of price, and the hours you get in, very similar to Ark, that is also quite a steal. That's pretty good. It's in fact better value than Rust. So if you're thinking about it, or you've always thought, now's your time. Then more wipey news. 7 days to die this time.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so on the 6th, this is coinciding with Rust, Darkness Falls is going to wipe. We were running 2-month cycles. The first one is now at an end, and it's time to reset the map. So we're going to go with a slightly different map. It'll be the latest version of A20, as A21 yet is still not compatible with Darkness Falls 4. He's still working on that. Kane's still working hard. And he's reckoning anywhere between August and October. That's what he last told me. We'll see how that goes and how much time he's got, because I think he's currently been into the hospital. He's had an operation to do or something like that. So needs a bit of time to heal as well. So yeah, Darkness Falls reset. Running A20, the most up-to-date version until they went to 21. And the latest version of Darkness Falls. So with the other server, A21 is now stable. That is confirmed. Yay, finally. But there is no darkness yet. So on the 6th, this was supposed to be a stopgap until we could actually get into darkness. So on the 6th, we're going to be updating the A21, what is currently the development server, to a stable release, which is now A21 Beta 234 is the one you will get if you just download 7 Days to Die from the store. The server will also be getting a wipe. It's got to. Game files are absolutely not compatible between the last build of A21 and the current stable build, so it has to be wiped. And we're going to keep this running for those of you enjoying A21 until such time Darkness Falls 4 is made available for A21. After that, I shall be retiring the vanilla server because there isn't really the population for both. And I think once the Darkness Falls mod comes out, everyone's going to hop over to that anyway because there's way more content there. There's much more to do. So I highly recommend that if you were running the experimental beta version of A21, refresh your client, uninstall the game, reinstall it, get rid of all the beta options that we had in before, and just run it straight out of the box. That will then connect to the A21 server that's marked development, and all will be good. And that again, resetting the 6th, the same as Darkness, the same as Rust. If you haven't seen 7 Days to Die, again, you know where I'm going with this, it is also available in the summer Steam sale. This one is an absolute doozy. 7 Days to Die, A21 latest build is currently going for £4.55, which is...
That's a bargain.
That is an absolute bargain. Hours and hours of zombie fun. And I would go as far as to say it's probably one of the best zombie games in its genre currently. So wipes all around, apart from Ark. We always have to throw that in there. Ark is not wiping. Everything else, pretty much, apart from Conan, is wiping. And honestly, we probably could do with some sort of cleanup on Conan. Is anybody still playing Conan? We got any Conan players in the chat? I know Chunky is.
There's a few kicking around, but I think they're just maintaining some stuff they've got on there.
Yeah.
But not, to be honest, not since the clusterfuck that was the last update.
Yeah. It was a mess, as is always the case with Conan. And they're currently not very, very supportive of their modding community either. So they're going to get what they're going to get. I have got my eyes on the new June one. They're currently touting on their Funcom launcher. That actually looked quite interesting. Need to look at that a little bit more. But they're developing a June version of what would be Conan. Kind of combat MMO type thing. Not the one that we've currently seen previous, which was like an RTS strategy. There was actually a full sort of kind of MMO type game they're planning. And that looks promising, I think. I like the June universe. So maybe we'll have a look at that when that comes out as well. So unless we have anything else, we're onto a stonking record this week.
Half an hour.
At 22 minutes. Do we have any questions? Do we have any things you really need to know?
It's been a quiet week. I've been off all week, and we've just been trying to keep things ticking over.
The F2 plugin can be customized to allow selling more stuff to the shop for Fed shirts. It's not a thing because of a lack of ideas things to sell, or because there's no intention of filling that page. I guess that is a thing of what would you currently want to sell to the shop for Fed shards, and I also don't think we want people to sell everything to the shop for Fed shards, as we're a 5x server and getting mats is stinkingly easy. So it would be a case of what?
We tried that in the past.
Yeah. Even element if you've got a gacha is not an issue.
Yeah, the problem we've got there is if we open up the ability for anybody to sell anything like that, it then turns into a farmable resource and it gets throws everything totally out of whack. Yeah, we're aware. Have to wait until we're out of the roundtable. So I don't think it's doable. Whatever you set up to be sold to the shop, it's just going to get absolutely rinsed, and then some people will end up with phenomenal amounts of shards.
Yeah. And with gachas on the go as well for almost everything up into including element. I mean, somebody was attempting to give away 50,000 element the other day because they had too much of it and didn't want to transfer it. So even element is not something that is hard to get. Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Until they discovered you can use an autocrafter and put your recipe in there.
Yeah. So yes,
Anything else?
I have actually got something else. Actually, I'm thinking of adding on the end because Kara is right there.
Yeah.
When talking to admins, I've had several instances now where people have been arguing and arguing and arguing with admins and trying to sort of, especially in tickets as well. It's, well, oh, sob story, blah blah blah. I want to speak to somebody else. If you're speaking to an admin, you're pretty much speaking to a member of staff. And I would find it pretty insulting that I have to get involved because people don't trust our admins. Yes, I want to speak to the manager, Karen's. Correct. We're also seeing a big influx of people who think it's a good idea to message admins over silly things that they can't handle themselves. At the end of the day, if you can't handle talking to somebody else and being a reasonable human being, you're on the wrong cluster, as this is supposed to be a community cluster. The players are quite helpful. Everyone pitches in. So if you can't sort your own arguments out and you're not big enough to handle your own deals, please don't get multiple admins involved. I had to speak to 2 people the other day who just couldn't sort out an argument, screaming for admins in chat. An admin gets involved, and even then, people are trying it on. It isn't going to fly from now on. Don't get me wrong, a lot of people are utterly great, but there is still a few people out there who don't seem to be able to handle breathing unless they cope through it. You absolutely don't need to be messaging multiple admins to sort out trivial things that you as a human being should be able to sort out. Give them a good interaction. So questions, do we have any more? You mean what missed you? You were the guy trying to give away 50,000 element and arguing with the admins over it.
If you need an update on incubators, have a look in WNG news. I'll put the message link in stream chat. All the information there.
It has to do with the roundtable in the way that sometimes you have to spell out common sense to people because they don't seem to have any. And that's what I mean about being argumentative and back chat. The Gunji, the server shutdowns and wipes are quite literally just for not Conan. I nearly did it there. 7 Days to Die, both servers, and Rust will be going off on the 6th. Any news on raidable bases? I do. All of the stuff is now set up on the event server. The kits are in place. They're admin only at the moment. And we are waiting for an admin test first. DJ wants to have a run through them. And then we can get a team of people from Cluster going through them and letting us know what they think, what the feedback is. And I also heard from Nugget earlier on as well about some possible changes. So I need to converse with Nugget too. I haven't ignored you. I've just been busy today.
Yeah, bear in mind I've been off for nearly a week. So busy life. Everybody has.
But yeah, they're as ready as they're going to be on events. Current versions of the bases are on there. All of the portals are set up. Everything is ready to go for the first set of tests. And then they just need dinosaurs putting in them and they're good to go. And for the incubators, yeah, we are at mercy.
for for the incubator thing, if everybody reads what Nani put out in that post, you will understand that the problem is not with the incubators. Far from it. The problem is with the propagator, and that means we need an S Plus update to fix. So whatever pace Orion Sun is working at on the next update for S Plus is hopefully when that happens. I mean, the last time we had an issue and an S Plus update was rolled out, he was brilliant and addressed the issue straight away. And that was the exploit to do with teleporter settings being able to be changed by non-tribe members. Don't know if you'll remember that one.
Yeah.
People running around the map screwing with other people's teleporters.
Yeah, and that was pretty quick.
That was fixed like same day. As soon as we reported it, there was another patch come out and it was done. Just gotta, people have lives. They work on things at their own pace, and yeah, catch them at the right time. Get done quickly.
And when the issue is sorted with the S Plus, I'm guessing it will just update. That won't be a case of waiting for maintenance day. That will just be a mods updated, buff done.
Yeah.
And then we can test it and put them back in. And while I'm thinking about it, shall we go over changes to how we're going to deal with render issues or view distance issues?
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
Okay, so currently we have a lot of very packed maps. We have a lot of players coming and going, and bases are, yes, view distance. I did correct myself. And there's a lot of bases close together. Yeah, as Shax has just said, it's a big problem now. So our standard procedure so far has been give people 5 days to move. We try and find them on Discord if they exist, either DM them or tag them in Lost and Found, wherever you can get hold of them. Sometimes they reply, sometimes they don't. We're very careful that we don't just ditch people's stuff because obviously it's important to you. But it's got to the point now that 5 days is a lot, especially if you're a new player on a packed island looking for a spot. It takes too long to get hold of people. We've been very hesitant to knock things down. Some players just don't read the rules. Some players don't care. And Tool has been going into game, and in most cases, to help players get to where they need to be as fast as possible, has been literally moving bases brick by brick, relocating them to a nice spot, building it back up for them, and placing the body back in the spot, which is, although cool, absolutely too much to ask. So the new system is going to be as followed. Everybody should be on Discord. There's going to be a new channel put into the ARC section, which will be something along the lines of view distance and fractions or something like that. And if you are pinged in that channel, you have from the ping 5 days to move your base from the location that's been listed. If you haven't contacted, made a ticket, or reached out within those 5 days, I would suggest making a ticket to make sure it's seen. Red guns are coming out and bases will just be blown up. There's a lot to keep doing. Tula helps out with 4 different games, and we don't want to having to move bases brick by brick just because people can't be bothered to read. We do have people on the cluster as well who aren't on Discord. So to counter that, the F1 menu is going to be updated as well with the new changes in. When they get updated, it will pop up for every single player who logs in because there's been a change made. Make sure you read it. And we can also put some little scrolling messages into chat like we do with certain other things. An acknowledgement rule of 48 hours. Well, I could say the same for our rules. It always seemed to work one way, you see, Wolfie. It's a case of like, nobody reads our rules or cares, but when we have them and we try and enforce them, 5 days to move. If they didn't acknowledge it, 48 hours have been pinged, and boom. I would say 5 days to move.
Yeah, we don't want to make it overly complicated.
Yeah, some people work, some
Keep
people,
things simple.
do different things, don't they? So you have 5 days. If you don't respond to the ping within 5 days, pew pew boom boom.
I mean, it's something that we've been fairly lenient on. It's in our rules. It's like, don't argue with an admin if you're asked to move your base. If you do, we'll blow up your base. That's something that's been in the rules that are available in game and on Discord. And we haven't had the need to enforce it to that extent. But because we're getting busier and busier, it's going to have to be enforced because people just aren't reading them and playing nice. It's like we've always said about our rules is we don't put rules in place until it gets to the point where we have to do something about it because people are not using their common sense, not reading, not taking other people into consideration. So yeah, it's just us enforcing the rules that are already there. So it's more of a, hey guys, we're going to be enforcing this more now.
Yeah.
That's all.
But then everybody can see as well who's been asked to move. If it's one channel and everything's in the one channel, you can also see who's been asked to move.
Yeah.
And if you've got friends on that list as well, you can poke them, and it's very transparent as to what's going on. But we don't have the time to chase you for 5 days and then kind of come to some sort of discretionary halfway house type thing, which ends up in Tula having to move a base brick by brick. It isn't fair. Me neither. Tula is a machine. As devil's advocate there, I could also say you should have read the rules, and if you'd read the rules, you would know that they're right there. They're there as soon as you pop on. They're on Discord. Yeah, they're in game too in the F1 menu. That pops up the minute you log in, and players just look at it and go, "Nyeh," and close it. Well, it doesn't matter where you put the rule. They just still, the same people will not read it.
Yeah, you can't join the Discord until you accept the rules on our Discord. If you did something the same in game, people would still accept them and say they've read them, but just not read them. So it's just like, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Taylor. If they choose not to, we can only do so much. But it also means if they haven't bothered to read the rules, then they're probably detrimental to any other player's gameplay.
Yeah.
Because the rules are only there to ensure that everybody can play and enjoy the server in the best possible way. They're not there because we just love enforcing them. We don't. It's a pain in the ass. We'd rather not have any rules and everybody played together nicely and friendly and was all common sense. But it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. So yes, Wolfie, they will decay. If they don't log in, they will disappear. Go poof. And no, Wandering Dialos will not take care of that. I mean, so let's have a look at a quick run through of our decay logs for today to give you some idea. So far today, our automated systems have cleaned up. Let's have a look. Microraptor on Gaia, an Ovis, a Dodo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Shadow Mains, a Snow Owl, an empty tribe of Siren, another empty tribe of Siren, 2 more dinos on Gaia, 1, 2, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 21 structures from various tribes around the map because they haven't logged on. Then another 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 structures from another tribe because they haven't logged on. 6, 12, 20 from another tribe that hasn't logged on. An unclaimed snow owl. Another 2 structures from another tribe, another structure from another one, 6 from another one, 6 from another one, 2 from another one, 1 from another one. Oh my god, what's going on? 3, 12 from another one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 from another tribe across various maps, a bunch of dodos, some more raptors, a player that hasn't logged in for 7 days, another player that hasn't logged in for 7 days, another player that hasn't logged in for 7 days, another tribe that hasn't logged in. The list just goes, I'm still scrolling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more tribes around lunchtime. That was 5 a.m. Sorry, I'm at 5 a.m. so far, and we've probably blown up about 20 tribes. And the list goes on and on and on and on. Yeah. So I reckon there's probably at least 20 tribes and at least 15 players there with about 50 dinos that have just been cleaned up this morning. That doesn't include all the random structures that people leave littering the maps, like the 1x1s, the random beds, and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Yeah, well. So, yeah, we're constantly cleaning stuff up. Imagine if we did. It'd be horrendous. See, now, yeah, that comment that Gaia did deflate a few people over last week from you there, Cara. I understand why, but at the same time, surely you know that we'll do our best to make things to put it into a very playable state. So, okay, don't burn out on it, and we'll carry on. But we have plans in place to fix everything that is particularly broken or not working as intended. To me, those two things are the same. It's not working as intended, it's broken. If it's not broken, it's not working as intended.
Oh, the restraint.
Yeah, it's not a bug, it's a feature. An unintended feature, but it's still a feature.
Deconstructed, that's all it is.
No, we're going to replace Gaia with ASA. And then we will see what awesome stuff comes out for that. Well,
I'm guessing the guys who play Docs would have something to say about that.
Yeah.
Why don't we replace the island?
The cool thing that I like about Docs is Mike puts in an absolute shitload of effort into it, and it's constantly evolving and changing. So no playthrough is ever the same. Yeah, and it's popular right now because some of the stuff he's put in with the Dino AI, the Boss AI, all the mechanics are changing. It's really good.
if you look at the amount of rad chat in chat, they're all on docs.
Yes, Gen 2 is back. Usual shite with Gen 2 missions causing problems. And funnily enough, when we had problems with missions before, me and Kara were doing some testing on that. And we actually found all the missions that seemed to be crashing people. We were running them fine with absolutely no issues at all. So it was either something that the mission runners were taking into those missions that was causing a problem, or it was something to do with those individuals. But anyways, so yeah, we've got a lot going on. We're going to patch up some of the issues with Gaia. We've got new transfer system coming online tomorrow. We've got the 7 days server. Let's call them server resets, because if we say wipes, then people think we're bringing them down or whatever. Then we've got the Rust wipe as well, or reset, or whatever we want to call it.
It's a wipe.
Tons of stuff going on.
Wipe reset. It's the same thing.
I couldn't remember what it was, but we said something earlier. It made it sound like we were actually bringing the servers offline and not bringing them back.
Well, that's what happens with a wipe, yes. Servers go offline and they come back wiped.
No, and not come back. That's what it sounded like. Can't remember what we said. Wipe. Well, unless anybody has got any pressing matters to add.
Only
I
the
do
cool
like
kids
Centre.
would hang out on the centre, yes.
Centre is that lovely map.
It is a beautiful map and it is very, very underused, considering how many people wanted it.
I love the ice castle over on the far side of the map. That's my favourite.
I don't get the centre at all. People wanted the centre. Can we have the centre? We give the centre, and again, nobody uses the centre. But answers on a postcard. And that is true, Becky. You are always rebuilding your base. That's why you never move. Rust wipe proved that. You built a base, everybody moved in, and you moved down to build another one. That's not the purpose of recruiting a team. We know. Yeah, maybe that could be a new thing. It's like building other people's bases.
Pimp yourself out. Base master builder. No,
Okay.
no spooters. A master baser, yes. That's cool. Oh, they so should make a Lego Minecraft. All right, shall we wrap it up there then?
Yes, I think we're good there. So thank you very much again. Good night. We have been the Wicked Ninjas. Thank you for all the feedback. and we will see you next week. If not tomorrow morning with the resets and not down servers, wipes, and definitely nothing of that to do with our. See you later.